YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's Crafty Dog Mama, and today we're going to be going over the Cricut Explore Air 2. I just want to go over the features of the machine, how you can benefit from it with your crafts, and just want to show you sort of how it works, what tools it comes with. Just a brief overview of Design Space, and then I also just want to show you a couple of the projects that I've used my Cricut for so far as well. As you can see, Maya's in the video today. Here's Barkley. He's really curious too. I mentioned in my first video that they'd be in a lot of them. We can't ever get away from them. They just want to be where we are all the time. But let's get into the Cricut Explore Air 2 and show you guys what it can do. Okay guys, so this is the Cricut Explore Air 2 cutting machine. It does come in a variety of colors, which you can check out on their website at Cricut.com. They do have a variety of colors from their nice mint green, blue, red, all kinds of different ones. So whichever one you like the best, you can choose. I decided to go with the yellow, which I absolutely love. It's a very nice, pretty color. I just wanted to, before I start going over the different compartments and buttons that it has, just let you know that this machine can cut over 100 different materials, including glitter paper, cork, bonded fabric, cardstock, vinyl, and iron-on. I mostly work with cardstock, so that's the material that I've been using on this machine, but we will do some tutorials on other materials later on. So just jumping into an overview, I do love this little compartment where you can keep all your tools handy, easily accessible. It's very convenient, especially when you're working with your computer and Cricut hand in hand, side by side. It's just easy to be able to grab the tools that you need right out of here. It does have a little cartridge here. To be honest, I'm not 100% what this is for yet, but I'll find out and include it in the description. You do have your open button here, which we'll press in a couple moments, and I'll show you how nice and flowy it is. Moving over to this side, you do have your power button, your dial, which you would set just before you start cutting or drawing your project, depending on what type of material you use. So you can see here, it does have paper, vinyl, iron-on, or transfer sheets, light cardstock, regular cardstock, bonded fabric, poster board, and then there's a custom tab as well. So you would set this setting or your dial setting over here if you have something that's outside of the presets that's given to you. You do have the feed button here, so when you're ready to load your mat in, you would press this. It would actually, a little light would come on just like it is up here and tell you that it's ready to go. This one is to actually start your project, so this is kind of like your go button, and then your pause button in case you need to stop your project for any reason. So let's go ahead and press the open button and see how nicely this thing opens. Look at that, very beautiful. Very airy and flowy. Okay guys, so inside the machine, I just wanted to go over a couple of the features here. So here you have your two cartridges, and the A cartridge is where you would actually insert your marker. I'll just show you quickly how that works. So you're just gonna open the tab to insert your marker. This is the marker that came with the Cricut, and you can see on the front it has an arrow to show you which way to insert it. And this is the 0.4 tip black. So I'm just gonna gently insert it into the machine, and you're just gonna gently press it until you hear a click. And once you hear the click, it's good to go, and just close that back in. Your B cartridge over here is for your blade. The blade that comes with the machine, I'll take it out so you can see, is the fine tip blade, and that's for cutting very fine detail. And I use this blade with the light cardstock and cardstock that I use, but I know it can cut the paper, vinyl, and iron-on as well. So if you are switching blades, you would just take out the one that you have in there, open the tab here, and then just insert your new blade and close it, and it's ready to go. So it does have a couple other compartments here, which I really like for keeping organized. So there's just a couple compartments. I'm sure that these here are specific to something, but I don't know what yet. If any of you know, just comment below and let me know what exactly they're for, but I know it's just a little storage bin for now. And this one here is for holding all your tools or markers or anything else that you use on a regular basis. So this is the scraper, probably the tool that I use the most. So when you're doing projects that have little pieces of paper that need to be lifted off the mat, it could take you potentially a very, very long time to remove all those little pieces, but with this guy, it's a huge time saver. So I will do a demonstration on how to use all the tools in a later video, but I just wanted to mention that this is probably the tool that you'll use the most with your Cricut mat and machine. So these are the tools that I have, and these 4 came in a pack that I purchased off Amazon. And again, I'll include the link in the description in case any of you are looking for that. The machine that I got was basically, it was just very basic. It just came with the machine, the marker, a mat, the adapter cable, and USB cord. So I didn't get a package with all of these in it. It was just a little bit more affordable for me to purchase these tools outside of getting a bundle with the Cricut. But if you do want to have all of these tools and more, there are bundle kits that you can get with your Cricut. And again, you can check that out on the Cricut.com website to see what bundle best suits your needs. So here we have the scissors, which are actually supposed to be ergonomic. So I'm just gonna take the cap off and show you. It is very comfortable to use, and it's great for a lot of the paper projects that I use. They're very sharp, very precise, so I like using these ones as opposed to some of the other scissors I have, depending on the project that I'm working on. The other tool is the tweezers, which is great for just gripping small pieces of paper, or sometimes you're using little glitter pieces that you want to glue onto your project, or just different things like that. Then you have your spatula. The spatula I probably use the most. When you insert your mat into the Cricut machine and your project is done, to avoid it curling, the spatula is great for lifting your paper up and keeping it intact without potentially ruining your project by curling it. So I use the spatula quite often, almost with every single time that I use the Cricut machine. This is the weeder, and you would use the weeder with its fine tip to weed out, so to speak, any little pieces of paper that you might not need in your project or that you want to get rid of from your mat. So I love using this tool as well. It's great. And then again, you have your standard marker that it comes with. It does come in a variety of different packages, as I've seen so far. I personally haven't had the need to buy any other colors other than the black yet, but I may in the future, and if I do, I'll definitely do a review on the colors. Okay guys, so this is the Cricut Light Grip mat. This is the one that I most commonly use. It does have 2 other mats, and I'll throw up some pictures here so you guys can see what they are. I know one is for heavier, and there's another one, but I'll include the pictures here so you guys can see the other 2 mats that you can use depending on the material that you're using. But these mats here, you can see, does have the measurements on it, which I love, depending on what size paper you're using, or if you even have scrap paper that you want to reuse, you know how much space that you're working with. So it has inches on the top, and then it does have the smaller measurements here on the other sides. Okay, so this is a paper flower that I made. I'm actually making a flower backdrop for my mother-in-law's 70th birthday coming up at the end of this month. I did not use the Cricut to cut the petals, as I find that it's just more time consuming if I was to use the Cricut machine, whereas I would save a lot more time, and I did save time cutting these petals out by hand. I did, however, use the Cricut to do the centerpiece for the flower, and I created the design inside Design Space, which I will go over shortly. So the reason why I use Design Space for this is because the paper flower centers can be very time consuming depending on how much detail you're putting in the middle, and if I'm doing a large batch of flowers at one time, the center pieces would take forever. So by having the Cricut machine, it actually saved me a lot of time by doing multiple center pieces just in one batch. So my Cricut machine took care of all of that while I worked on the rest of the flowers. So it was a huge time saver. Also used the Cricut machine for the inner petals on the rose that I did. The reason why is because I believe I used, I want to say 16 small petals for this one. So I was able just to save time while I was cutting the outer petals and had my Cricut machine cut these ones while I was working on the outer ones. So this is just another project that we'll definitely be doing a tutorial on, the paper flower rose. And I'll show you one of the other cool projects that I worked on, probably one of my favorites. This here is an explosion box. So what it is I actually made a bunch of these for my friends and family for Christmas, and inside I included a gift card, but it was just a great little personalized keepsake gift that they could have, and I sort of themed everyone's boxes to their personality and things that they like. But just so you can see, this is one of the fonts that you can get in Design Space for free. So I did use the Cricut to cut his name out here. And I'll just show you, if I can get the top off with one hand, how it works. So it just unfolds very nicely like that. I will do a tutorial on how I make the explosion boxes and different themes that I've done as well. I just wanted to show you a couple of the things that I use the Cricut for. So here I did use the Cricut machine for the peace sign. You could see it's very detailed and intricate. So that was kind of nice that I was able to choose what color I wanted, and the design was already made and free with my Cricut Access. And then I also used it for the peace sign here. It's actually just one piece. This was available in the Cricut Design Space for free as well. So we will go over Design Space, but I just wanted to show you guys a couple of the projects that I've used the Cricut for. Hey guys, so this is Cricut Design Space. I'm just going to do a really quick overview on what it is. So Cricut Design Space is where you can be as creative as you want for whatever type of projects or crafts that you're working on. At the very top, it does give you your projects that you've saved and worked on. So I love that it's readily available here for you. If I just scroll, it'll show some of the different things that I've made, and I can always click on one of them if I just want to remake it again in the future, or if it's a template that I use often. For example, the leaves for the paper flowers that I use. If we scroll down a little bit, you have your ready to make projects. These are all projects that are available for you that are just ready to go. So if you see something you like, hey, I really like this bag, I want to make the exact same thing, I'm going to click on it. It's going to give me an overview of what this bag is and how it looks. If I scroll down, it's going to tell me a little bit about the project. So it does say it's an advanced project. It takes about 1 hour to 2 hours. It tells you what the materials are that you'll need if we go down here, and then also, you know, what kind of skills you need, the preparation, cutting, all this different type of stuff. Again, we'll go more into detail later. I'm just going to quickly click on Make It. And when I do click on Make It, everything is already ready to go. So I just need to make sure I have these materials. I have my mat, and then I'm just gonna start making it. If I click on continue, I just wanna sort of, oh, I don't have my Cricut machine hooked up to this computer here. So if I did, it would actually tell me to go ahead and start cutting the first mat. But again, we're not going to get into making a project right now. We're just going to do a quick overview. So I'm going to exit out of that. It does have a ton of different projects that you can learn how to make depending on what you like. So I love that they have such a broad range of different projects that you can choose from. So I'm going to go back to the home page because there is one more thing I wanted to show you here. If you see this section here, it says top video tutorials. This section here is awesome. So it has a lot of different things that you can learn in regards to how to make projects, to how to use the functions in Design Space. So there's a lot of different buttons in Design Space, and sometimes it just takes trial and error to sort of learn how to use it, as does anything. So I really love that they have this readily available for me, and that the videos do pull up in YouTube as well. I'm not going to click on any of them because the sound will overpower my voice, and I don't want it to do that right now. I just wanted to make sure that everyone who is going into Design Space for the first time recognizes that they do have this category readily available for you to start learning on your own if that's the type of person that you are. Again, on the homepage, it'll just give you a bunch of different projects in different categories that you can choose from. One thing I do want to point out is this Cricut Access. So anytime you see this green flag here with the A, it means that that project is free of charge for you with your subscription. If I click on this here, you can see it doesn't have the Cricut Access. And if I did want to make that Martha Stewart reindeer gift card holder, it'll tell me down here before I make the project, it's going to cost me $5.97, which is fine. So there are a lot of things that you can purchase, but there's also a lot of things that are absolutely free where you don't have to spend any extra money. I just wanted to show you quickly the drop-down menu here. There's a lot of different things from setting up your machine, calibrating it with different materials, custom materials. I'm just going to click on this quickly because I did touch on the custom material dial setting. Again, I don't have my Cricut machine hooked up. So anyway, if you did have a custom material that you wanted to work with specifically, this is the section you would go into to calibrate that material with your machine, and we'll do a tutorial on that later. I did want to show you quickly what the canvas itself looks like. So if I click on canvas, this blank canvas here is giving me the option to start a new project. If I click on templates, let's say I wanted to make an apron, I would click on that apron, and it's just going to give me an outline of the apron. Actually, that one is not very good. Let's try the backpack. Here you can see the backpack outline is here. So if I knew that I was going to do a little decal for the pocket here, I could actually just start inserting my images and making whatever the decal is or iron-on for that backpack pocket. So that's really convenient too. Inside the canvas, you do have the projects again. You can click on the drop-down menu here at the top for the categories, and then just choose what it is that you want to do. If you want to make it really easy because you don't want to pay for anything additional, you can click on Cricut Access, and it'll give you all the different things that are readily available for you through Cricut Access. So that's kind of cool too. Here you have different images, different categories that you can choose from depending on what the theme is that you're working on. Kind of cool that they have all these different sections. For example, if we click on Halloween, it'll give me all the different Halloween options that I have available. So that's kind of neat as well. The text is the same thing. So if I click on the text at the top here, it's going to give me all these different Cricut Access that is available for me to use right away. But you can see this one here, for example, all mixed up. It's going to cost me $4.99 if I want to use this type of font. So that's absolutely fine if the font fits the project that I'm going to be using, and I really want to be able to have this
for that project and something in the future. It's just Cricut has made it so easy to see which ones are readily available for you and which ones are not. You have shapes here that you can use to make different images. Actually, let me get out of that so you can see it a little bit better. So there's the different shapes that you can use to create different things, and also you can upload your own images and customize it to your project. We'll get into this section in detail a little bit later. I just wanted to let you know that that option is available for you. So that is pretty much the overview of Design Space. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of the machine itself and of Design Space so you can get started on any of the projects, or maybe this is your first time owning the machine and you just sort of want to know what this machine is about, what it can do, and how you use the Design Space program with your machine. So I hope you all have learned sort of a basic overview and general idea on what this machine is and how you can use it, how it can benefit you, your crafts, and your business. And I really hope that you guys enjoy making whatever it is that your heart desires just as much as I do with my Cricut machine.